Hi, everybody. Welcome to the this session of live stream for Momen. Momen is a no-code full stack web app development platform, and today we're gonna just take a look at um, how we can use it to build things with let's call it Nano Banana. So Nano Banana is fairly popular these days, and it excels at consistency. So you can like input an image and at the same time have some edit instructions passed in the prompt, or you can like combine multiple images and come up with something else. So that is what we're going to be showcasing. So today you can use a coupon code for to try things out, but I'll show that later. But so the coupon code is actually Banana Pro, so just no spaces, Banana Pro, like so. Okay, it's gonna be valid for a short while, and then without further ado, let's take a look at what this thing does. So I'm already logged in, and what we're looking at here is the live preview. So by live preview, I mean if you change anything in the Moments editor, it's going to make the same change in the preview. So if I say Nano Banana Pro, maybe we call it like Nano Banana 2 Generation Studio, and that's gonna carry over to here. It's actually gonna refresh the page. Okay, so the idea is that we've already preloaded some prompts, and we're gonna apply those prompts, and we'll see what the result is. So I have my lovely Brad Pitt picture over here, and we're gonna choose. Oh, there's something slightly off. Ghibli avatar. That's the name is. Let's see. I'll take a look at what this actually is, but let's just generate that first. Photo portrait. I think there's something slightly off about this. Take a look. Subject. But okay, so this is actually the Ghibli avatar. I think it is the Ghibli avatar. The preview image is probably off by something, but that's one. And you can see that we've gone down from 1 credit to 0 credit. And if we try to generate another image based on Brad Pitt, we asked to pay. So here it's all fake money, right? So this is using the sandbox within Stripe. So we'll take a look at how that was set up. But now it's succeeded. You notice that this hasn't increased yet. You have to like click this refresh thing manually, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's a result of asynchronous processing of the payment callback. So now we can actually try to generate a new image. This loading thing here is actually just a lottie, and should take less than 30 seconds. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to just let me know, and I'll try to be responsive to those. Okay, yeah, so that's this guy over here. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look. And obviously you notice that these are not matching up exactly. So this one is saying cinematic, but the image is a different image. But let's take a look. Maybe that's because my database is wrong. So these styles actually come from the Nano Generation style table, and let's take a look. We got the avatar. Yeah, the images are the images are wrong in here, so we will have to we will have to like change up this a bit. Let me save this. And then we'll have to re-upload. So I'll just put it down here. And this guy is manga real Ghibli avatar. Okay, this one is real person black white comic world. Okay, so that should be this really. So let me save that. The other way we can do this is by like just exporting and re-uploading. In fact, I probably should have done that. But whatever. Let's studio portrait. This is a studio portrait, so we'll have to save this. Oops. I have to save this one. YouTube cover. That looks correct. Cinematic. Well, that's clear. Not that's Marvel if I remember correctly. And the 3D Ghibli app icon, which is clearly this guy, I think, or this guy. No, that's the Ghibli one. Damn it, I can't. I don't know which one's which. Side break of a cute rounded portion. Also, that's this guy. So we have to like save this one as well. Otherwise, it's going to be very confusing. And we have one that's correct. This one is wrong. 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 And this one is wrong. Okay. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 images. Let me check whether I have 6 saved. No, I have 5. I need one more. And we'll change those so they think this I haven't saved. Okay. So now let's replace them. This is the Ghibli avatar. That's the Ghibli avatar. I'm just gonna upload those. And okay. So this one is the manga. I'm gonna change this to the black and white manga, I think. This guy. Yeah. And studio portrait. Change all those up. This is Marvel. And the style, this one should say Marvel. Why do I have two Ghibli avatars? This one even says Ghibli avatar. Okay, this is the Ghibli. We should call this Chibi? I don't know. Well, I don't even know what the style is. Movie poster. Yeah, so this one will get this guy. And movie poster should really be this guy. Okay. Cool. Now everything should be in order. Let's check Marvel story. No. No, this one should be Marvel. Sorry, missed the one here. That's the Marvel one. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think that's in order. So let's take a look at here again. We'll refresh this page. Take a look at, okay, Marvel is now Marvel. Manga is manga. Portrait, Ghibli, Chibi. I don't know. Maybe it's got. I don't. I don't know what this even means, but that's that. Okay. So cool. All right. So let's take a look at how this thing's actually built. We got a fairly simple main page, which is the actual generation page, and when this thing is loaded, if you're not logged in, it's gonna immediately try to get you into register page, right? So if we, by the way, my mouse is like super laggy at the moment because for some reason OBS Studio, OBS is like eating up my GPU, and all my mouse clicks are super laggy. So it will take you to the login page when, if you are not logged in and you're on this page. So this makes sure that your username and all your credits information are available. But obviously, when we are trying to control whether someone has access to the generate button, it's not done just on the front end. It's actually done both on the front end and on the back end. We'll see how that works. And to the top, you just have this little bar, which is just a header. It's spread out to the left and to the right, and there's really not much to it except that here you have a something to show what the user is. You have the username and the number of credits available to that user, and the way you get that is just by going to user, a logged in user, username. So that's that. And now this thing has if we add a space here, you should be able to see this one now shows Jiang Yao Kai 01 twice. And obviously if we undo that, and that goes away, right? And then we have another text thing here. Oh my God, I can barely click on things. That is just refresh. So this thing can be, when you click on it, it allows you to refresh login data. So login user data. So basically refreshes the number of credits. As we are accessing the number of credits using the, like in here, we're actually using the logged in users credits field. And then we just have a banner showing the title of this thing, and to the right we got a little button. Well, it's not really, well, it can be a button, but it could just be a text, and it takes you to the user center, so it takes you to a page. Okay, and then we have something over here, and then if you notice, we have a few boxes over here. To the top, you have a top view. Really, this should be named, let's say, like top view, right? And then this one is user related. And you got the left box and the right box. So the left box will be, I don't know, username and credits. So then it will be like username plus credits, and this one just refresh. And the button to the right will be just user center. Okay, so by renaming stuff like this, it makes accessing, finding stuff later easier. So this one, I'll just like title. And then this one is subtitle. Okay, this one will be the main view. And you can see the main view is actually made up of two views, and it's laid out from left to right, but different from the top views, which are laid out from top to bottom. But the user-related box over here is actually left to right, if you check out here. So by laying out your user interface, by laying out your views either left to right or top to bottom, it controls. It gives you the flexibility of proper layouts, and these languages are the same language that's spoken by the browser. So yeah, so if you whenever you're in doubt, you can always ask ChatGPT, for example, because we just use Flex, and then you can ask ChatGPT how to lay out different boxes. All right, so within the main view, we actually have two subviews. First one, we'll say the style list, style selector, styles, so maybe just styles, and then here is like source image. Right, so within the styles, you basically have a title, just and then, well, CTA really, and then you have a style selector. This thing is a select view, so it will take a list. It will take a table from backend as a source, and in this case, we're not applying any filters to it because we want all of the styles available on the backend on the database to be visible here. And we also are not doing anything when we change the selected state. The other thing I think is something I don't like about this. We are not quite sure the ownership between different boxes. Let's say in here, I don't really know whether YouTube cover is the top one, is referring to the top image or the bottom image, because it's not separated enough. And also, so, let's see. I'm gonna change the style up a bit. First of all, give it a little bit of a, should have some gaps between the things. Design multiple lines. Margin padding. Okay, maybe instead of that, we'll do this. We'll give it a margin of some sort. So let's say we'll, and also this is a bad, like this is just bad. Don't try to do all your space outs by like multiples of 4. Okay, so that's that, and then this now this now is switching lines because we can't yet do like width divided by. Actually, I don't need the margin on the side, so I'm gonna make this 0. Okay, so now it's gonna have some space. It's gonna add some spacing. Oh, did I? Yeah, for the selected one, I'm also gonna add a. Did I do the same one? 8, okay. So that should give us some spacing in between, and oh, and this thing is also has another problem. So the default style This one has a border. The selected one also has a border in terms of a 50% fit. 50% fit 8 and 8. Ah, that's the reason. I forgot to change them all. Okay. So now this should look a little more reasonable. Okay. And I also want to add some background color to this entire thing to make sure that we know what we have selected. We'll add a background color of white, but we'll just give it like 2%, or maybe 2% is a little too little. 10%, yeah. And that's that. This looks odd. Gonna get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. I'll try to add a background color to the. I just wanted to add a gap to it. Okay, so we can add a shadow to this, so that will make things slightly. Add a shadow of something like white and say 20%, and it's gonna have just Y and blur. Let's see, we have a. Okay, how does it look like? It looks somewhat. It looks bad, but I can't do any better than that, so we'll just deal with it. We'll just bear with it. Excuse me. So, all right. So, whenever you select something in the select view, it will be accessible elsewhere in the page. So, whenever we click generate, this now has access to the select view to the output of the select view to the left. And this particular button is actually fairly complex. Before we go in there, let's take a look at this. This one is just an image picker. It looks fairly ugly, has nothing. So instead of empty, we could give it a placeholder image of some sort. What is this? I guess we could give this a placeholder image like that. So whenever you come in without actually having uploaded anything, it's going to show the placeholder image like this, right? But it looks odd. I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah, I'm going to just get rid of it. Okay. And when we click on the generate button, first, this thing has a background color that's actually a gradient. So if you take a look at this, you have not just the color, but also a gradient over here. If you want to do something similar, I guess you could, let's see, we could change this thing over here. Give it a background color. And you can add a gradient. So this is a solid color. This is gradient. It's kind of not obvious, but that's what we have for now. Yeah. And I don't really want it to have anything, so I'm going to undo all my changes. Yeah, I just undid all my changes. Okay, so when we click on this, it actually does quite a bit of work. So first of all, it has a conditional. If you're not logged in, it's gonna take you to register. So if for some reason you were able to get into this page and you were able to skip the the initial check, which is very unlikely, we're gonna take you to register page, and then we're gonna check whether your credit is enough. So if you don't have less than or equal to 0, okay, it could be easily done by just less than 1. So, but whatever. So that means you need to buy stuff. So you create an order, and then you pay for the order. So you have a Stripe integration here. You have a one-off payment. You get this order ID that's created by that previous action flow, and you just pay for it. And then once that's done, you refresh the login user data, which should make it 1. The credit should be 1, but unfortunately, this is not properly set up. What it should have been doing is either we're going to listen for the credit using subscription, or we should wait for a second and then refresh using schedule job on the front end, because as I said, the callback is asynchronous. So the payment succeeds, and then then Stripe is gonna call Moment's backend and let us know the payment has gone through. Okay, so if you have enough credit and you're logged in, you go into the otherwise clause, which has no conditions, which just tell us that it catches all. So if nothing, the evaluation logic is that if one of the branches matches your condition, then that branch gets executed. Nothing to the right is executed. If none of the branches match, then we will execute the first one that satisfies the condition. And having no condition means it's an automatic true. So we first switched the view case to loading. So that's why we have a loading screen on the front end, which we haven't seen yet. And then we'll execute the image generation action flow. That particular action flow itself contains the actual logic to call the AI to generate the image. And then we're going to set a generated image to null, right? Because as you're generating, you don't want the old image result to still be there, because there will be a period of time when the new pop-up comes, when the result is shown, it shows a previously generated image. All right, so the action flow takes 2 inputs. One is a prompt. The prompt itself is coming from the selectors. It's in inputs, style selector, and that's the style. Sorry, the prompt. It's actually called prompt detail, but whatever. The prompt itself. And the other part, which is the original image, okay, whatever. That one comes from the image picker, which is the one that we just saw, the big blank thing on the top. And when the action flow succeeds, again, we're going to refresh login user data, because that has consumed within the action flow. Credits will be consumed, and then you want that reflected on the front end. You would then go to the result showing view instead of the loading view, and we're gonna show a toast, which is optional. You could show it or just ignore it, and then we're gonna set we're going to put the generated result into the page variable so that the result can be shown. And this result comes from the action flow itself. So that's the generated image part. Actually, I think we can change this. No, we cannot change this. Okay, so if it fails, then we still refresh logged in user data, and we just go to different view case, and then show a toast of saying that the image generation has failed. Now, though, what are those view cases, right? So we're gonna turn this up. Okay. This one, we should really call it the overlay. We have a case. Let's take a look at this. All of them have no conditions, right? So these are, so the first one will always match. We always go into normal. And normal is basically nothing. We have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, everything, right? So it's basically invisible. It exists on the page, but it's invisible. It is also absolute, so it doesn't participate in the layout system. It's just dangling alone on the page itself. And when it's loading, we have, again, this thing is an overlay, and it's a full screen overlay, so it's 100% of the entire screen, and it is fixed. So fixed is to the, I think I forgot which one's which. I think fixed is to the page, and then absolute is to the parent. So on the page level, fixed and absolute are identical. And within here, we just have this loading animation, which is just a lottie that we uploaded, and some text showing that the image is generating, so the user doesn't get bored. For Nano Banana, the generation takes about less than 30 seconds, so having a loading screen works. If you're dealing with something that takes longer than that, say it takes 2 minutes, right? Loading screen is not going to cut it. Typically, you should navigate the user away, let them do something interesting, show some progress, actual progress, not just a spinning circle. Otherwise, they're going to lose interest and leave the page. Okay, and then success is when we just show the result image. The data is bound to the page variable generated image. So that's where we stored temporarily the page variable, the generation result. And then we have like a close button, which takes us to normal. So that just switches to normal. And if it's failed, then we show an image that says Nano Banana failed. And again, we have a close button that just switch the case back to normal. Yep, so that's all there is for this page. But obviously, you can see if we're using a phone, this looks like crap. How do we deal with it? It's actually not too bad. If we go to the main view within the phone, you can see we selected over here. The main view, if we just change the layout from left to right, top to bottom, and in terms of the, okay, what did I just do? What did I just do? Let me take a look. Width is 1 fraction. Height is 100%. Okay, so we also have to change the height to be, let's say instead of that, we'll do 1 fraction. Can I do 1 fraction here? No. That is odd. If we do top to bottom, let's say if I give it some kind of fixed value of 400, it's a bit too, and then we change this thing to be multi-line. Actually, we don't need this multi-line because it's going to be expanded out. 400 is a bit too much. 350. Okay, and then what about this guy over here? This height, we'll just select fit. Okay, and then we'll change, and then the width of this is 100%. This height will also be a fit. And this one, we're gonna do top to bottom. Width is 100%. Okay, so what is wrong with our 100%? This is the style selector. Am I doing something wrong here? Width is 100%. That's apparent. Oh, the styles. Okay, that's probably why. 100%. Okay, 100%. Height is fit. And we do need a gap between the main view and the top view. So, okay, so this one has a strange behavior where it's going on the top. Let's see how this is rendered out. We can change this thing to phone, and it will do an iPhone 16 Pro. Yeah, something gets pushed up here. Let's see how this thing is done. Top view is a fit, has a padding. Again, these paddings are 10s, which annoy me quite a bit. We have a height of fit. So this is all correct. User standard is correct. Title. Okay. And the top view is a fit. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. The title is I think has something to do with this. Fit, and then width should be 100%. Height. %. These are just very weirdly done. Okay, so that's, and also 99.9% is also very weird. Okay, that's actually not bad. So this is now correct. We now just need this guy to not go on top of everything. The main view height is 1 fraction. That's probably why. Just to fit. Okay, here we go. Now that's more normal. And also on the top view, we're going to introduce some gaps in here so that things are not squished together. So 12. And also we're going to have a gap over here to space things out. All right, so this now looks more normal. For the upload your image, what happened to our image view? So let's take a look. In the main view, got the styles, we have a source image, and this guy is again getting squashed. And the height is 350, so if we go down, yeah, that's more normal. And also we have some strange things going on here, right? So let's take a look. This should just be 100% instead of, actually, No, that's just wrongly done. And it wasn't visible in here because it was okay. So let's go to normal overlay, and for the style over here, it shouldn't be a fixed number. It should be 100%. Yep. And then that means these things now should be more. Okay, this one should do the same, 100%. Okay, so I think the person that did the did this get correct? Is it now correct? Let's take a look. It's because I actually overrode it, but never mind. We'll just type that. Okay, so now it's slightly more normal, but you can see these are still like offset. So I think the reason was this setting. Yeah, this setting is wrong. That's why. It's like being centered. It shouldn't be centered. It should be always all should be space in between. That probably works. Or like push everything to both sides or something. Space between, space between. See. Space between works better. This guy over here selected should also be space between. Okay, so this one is a lot more reasonable than it was before. Okay, so now we even have the mobile view. And yeah, so that's basically the front end for you. There's nothing much to it now, so let's take a look at what else is there. Obviously, we got the image generation thing. Image generation action flow. So it takes the prompt and the original image as the input. Okay, I hate this name. Or source image. Maybe I should call it just a source image. Yeah, source image. Continue. And inside here, I'm gonna bind this to the source image. Outside, this button action. This action flow. Yeah, this should be called the source image. And renaming shouldn't really cause everything to get unbound, but that's what we have now. So we'll just have to this is wrong. Hold on. We got a typo in here. The button has something else that has bound to source image. What else do we have? Let's see, action flow. I think this should be correct. Is not in action flow. Origin. Oh. That's stupid. I think there's a bug in the type systems checks. Undo all that. Go back to action flow. Yeah. Okay, I won't touch it for now, but this is actually a bug that we need to fix. When you rename this, the type system goes crazy. Okay. So once we get the inputs, we run the AI. The AI is just a Nano Banana Pro image generator. It has almost nothing. It just generates the image according to the prompt, nothing else. And the image will get passed in, so we can try it out. So let's see now. We'll just use Brad Pitt again. Make him look like a whale, right? And that would kick it off. Obviously, this prompt is going to go in here. So the goal is to make him look like a whale. But obviously, you would give it like really detailed settings. Let's that doesn't look like a whale at all. But whatever. Uh, so that's what it does basically. And then within the action flow, we then get the account ID, so whoever invoked it, and then reduce their credit by filtering on the ID equals the current account ID, and we decrement credit by 1. And then we will also insert the generation history. So the user can see all the images that they generated, which is actually in here. I'm gonna go back to full screen. So that is my personal library. These are things that I generated in the past, right? And then we just output the actual image that was generated by the AI. The reason we have a get item formula here rather than just the image is because Nano Banana by default outputs a list of images. So if you try to directly select, so if you go to here and you try to directly select the output, you would see that the types doesn't match. You go to the run AI and you have the images. That's grayed out because you can see it does have an S over here. Okay. And then the thing about like new users, we should give them a single credit by default is done over here. We just have an action flow that sets two credits. We gave every new user 2 credits, and the input to this action flow is, what did I just click? I think I clicked something. Yeah, the input to this action flow is just the account ID. And then how is this thing run? We have a database trigger that says whenever a new user is created, so anything that's inserted into the account table will run this action flow with the ID of the account. So you end up with 2 credits to begin with. And create order, it's very similar, just creates an actual order. In this case, the price is predetermined. Normally, if you have multiple SKUs, multiple products for people to choose from, then you would also pass in the product ID or the SKU ID or something to enough information so you can look up the items that they purchased and calculate the full amount. And then you would put that full amount down in here. Okay, and then we have one last useful action flow used to process Stripe callbacks. And whenever you activate Stripe payment in Momen, we construct these 4 action flows for you. These are under the systems folder. So yeah, so in this case, the only thing you need to change is really down in here. I mean, they also missed one thing. So let's see. Do we have? Let me just take a look at how the order table is created. I think oh, yeah, this is a bad practice. This thing has orders that doesn't have a status. Usually you need to keep track of these order status. Otherwise, you have no idea what's going on with these orders. If they're created, are they paid? We don't know. So this is bad practice. What really should happen is you would have status, and then for now, you're going to use a text. But in the future, in the near future, we're going to introduce enums into Momen. So in that case, this will become an enum, and it'll be like order status as a type. So you only have certain types. And down in here, the create order is also bad. Status would be pending. And down in here, this is also bad. You would do update, and you would update order, and you would set that to completed. So now you know which ones are actually, so we'll just in here, we'll get the order ID equals order ID, and then set order completed. This is also weird, because anyways, this is just weird. I don't know why you would. I mean, you could look it up. It doesn't hurt. It's just useless. Anyways, so when the order is completed, we're now gonna increment the accounts credit by 1, and then we will filter that by the actual account ID. So that account that paid for the $10 is gonna get 1 credit. And let's just synchronize this. Okay, so that is basically everything. And we said, oh, the last thing is we have enabled Stripe payment, and that's using the sandbox, so you can test out all the 4242s. And for permissions, we have no permission settings for, I mean, these look correct. And you can see that nobody can read your image creation history unless it's you. The logged in user's ID must be equal to the creation history's account. And if you were to edit something or create something, these are very similarly. They are, that's also how you would do it. In the order table, I mean, you should not let users create or edit these things. So we're just gonna get rid of those. We're just gonna get rid of all that. So they can read their own orders and nothing else, right? Read their own orders. And for payment record, you can read, and hopefully it should be that the logged in user's ID is equal to the payments accounts ID. Or if you really want to, it could be payments orders accounts ID. It's the same thing. And this really should be similar. We should set that up. query data. I'm going to be lazy and just directly select this. And nano generation style, this is good. We don't want them to edit or delete. Okay, so that is how we set up the table access. And for the action flows, everybody can create order. Actually, it wasn't controlled at all. So credit should be greater than 0. Yeah, so that was this is how you control these access from the backend. In terms of the AI, well, we just don't want them to use this at all. So just turn it off. And for payment, well, you won't be able to do any well, it doesn't really matter. We'll just let them pay once or multiple times. Okay, so that is how we can fix this whole thing. And okay, then we're done. So to go over this entire thing again, let's run through, actually, let's also publish this, right? Why not? Preview again. And we can publish to, do I have a custom domain? Oh, I do have a custom domain. Go to publish, and we're going to publish to custom domain. Okay, now we can actually go to nanobanana.momen. Okay, we go in there, and because we're not logged in, it's taken us to the login page. Not sure if I can log in here. No, account does not exist. And we're just gonna sign in with my, let's just create a new one. Mouse gets super laggy, man. This is in sign in, I need to go to sign up. O2, that's a new one. We're gonna sign up. This gives us 2 credits, and we're gonna get Brad Pitt into this chibi thing. I don't know what chibi is, by the way. I still don't know. And maybe actually Brad Pitt is more suitable for the movie poster, right? Okay, we're gonna do the movie poster. Yeah, so that's Brad Pitt in this chibi thingy. And if we do movie poster, we're gonna get a movie poster. There's something still strange with that, was like the last image generation result was carried over. So I think that's something odd. I have to fix. Okay, but if we try to do another one, now you are asked to pay, right? You can't really, you can't do any more of that. So let's pay for it. Payment successful. Click refresh. We got 1 credit. Now you can generate something again. Brad Pitt in a black and white comic world. And those should all be in our user center. Should be 3 images once that's done. Yeah, this carrying over. So okay, so that works. And if we go to user center, these are basically the images that we generated. All right, that's it for today's live stream. We kind of went through the some mostly front end, how to build a front end out of Momen, and then we also looked like very simply how to store pre-made prompts in database and use them dynamically during runtime, and how to set up payment as well as the payment and permissions. So you can set up paywalls. So I think that's it. Again, the code, if you want to try this out yourself, is Banana Pro. And at the moment, we're essentially giving out these Google credits for free. If you look at the exchange rate, image preview for each input token is like 0.01 points. And then if you buy a pro version, you get 5 million points. So that gives you like 500 million points. If you use the free version, you end up with, I don't know, probably like 50,000 or 5,000 image generations or something. All right, and I think that's all today. If you have questions, you can ask now. Otherwise, we will be calling it a day.